Tackler Jamie Neighbors, number 1, 6'1", 215-pound senior George Stone, the linebacker, Aaron Gibson, the linebacker, Howard are the defensive tackles, McNabb and Walbert defensive tackles.
1st and 10 for the Vikings. Toss sweep, a reverse that time to Thompson. He turns it inside. Boy, he's still on his feet, turns. The Vikings with some razzle-dazzle and almost going all the way. Anthony McCoy on the tackle for the Indians, but not before the Vikings get another first down, Wendell. 1st and 10 at the 48.
And if Antonio McCoy had not made that tackle, that would have been 6 points. You know, one of the things that Fort Walton was going to try tonight was to try to misdirection, reverses, because Choctaw defense runs to the football really well. And how you cut down that pursuit is to run reverses.
I'd say that's a very successful one. Quick dive inside. McKinney still on his feet. Down to the 32-yard line inside of green territory. And that brings the Viking fans to their feet. Thomas and Romaine?
Ricky Roman.
Ricky Roman. I'm sorry, Ricky.
Ricky Roman.
Can't read your handwriting.
You're thinking about romaine noodles.
Ricky Roman. I'm sorry, Ricky has a good tackle there.
Well, you see, Fort Walton's been able to open up Choctawhatchee's defense.
1st and 10 for the Vikings, the 33-yard line. Robinson to call signals, drops, throws inside, quick strike, complete. That time to number 2, Gary Dunmore, down to the 8-yard line. Tackled on the play, looked like by Antonio McCoy, excuse me.
Now, Gary Dunmore has not been the favorite receiver. That's only his 7th catch this year. Normally, the receiver that Bobby Robinson likes to go to is Ryan Thompson, but once again, Fort Walton showing a little wrinkle. They put Fabian Porter in motion, ran Gary Dunmore in a slant pattern, and he was wide open. Good throw by Bobby.
The Vikings, 4 plays, 4 first downs. A little delay on the time. Fabian Porter on the carry. Looked like maybe Conrad and Stone on the tackles there for the Indians. It'll bring it inside. Where's that, Wendell? The 5-yard line, 2nd and 5.
You know, you talk about calling plays now. When you're inside the 5, it's not very tough to call the plays. Normally, you can run the football in. It's just outside the 5 where it gets tough. You know, and usually the play that makes or break you is this 2nd down play. You've got to decide whether you want to run it or throw it.
2nd and 5. Pitch on the carry, touchdown, Vikings, Fabian Porter, and the Viking fans are on their feet, Wendell.
And you know what, that's the best, since I've been watching Bobby, that's the best I've seen him run the option. You notice how he froze the end, and then when he pitched it to Fabian's got that kind of speed that you better hem him up, as they say, or he's going to score on you.
The kick, all important, high snap, good hold. Clement puts it down. Robinson up and good.
Well, I know that Coach Rankin's really excited about this because that was a real tough, grinding job drive by Choctawhatchee, but Fort Walton has come back and rather easily moved the football down the field.
And I hate to tell you this, but there's still 1,000 people outside waiting in that line all the way out to Racetrack Road. I don't know if we can get the shot from the top camera down into the parking lot, but you should see that line. I swear, I think they got 2 people taking money. 2 people, I think, collecting monies.
They only have 2 gates.
This ranks right in there with that hurricane evacuation techniques that we need to work on.
Maybe it's a carryover from the evacuation for.
I don't know, but I guarantee you this probably won't happen next year because there'll be some letters to the editor. You read that Daily News, and I'm guaranteeing it'll be filled with letters to the editor.
They need to get some more ticket takers down there.
There'll be some information on ticket takers. Robinson to kick off, 4:21, deep into the end zone, out of the end zone, a touchback. And the Indians will take over 1st and 10 at the 20, 4:21 left in the first period. And Wendell, you know what we have here? A football game.
I'll write it. Love it. You know, we're talking about rookie coaches. Bobby Moore. There's been 9 rookie coaches in this football game, and only 2 have ever won their first one. Dwight Thomas won his first one, and Eddie Davenport won his first one. And that was way back in the 70s.
Hey, I was there. I was there. First and 10 for the Indians at the 20. Zebanowski the gift. Woo! Huge tackle that time. 42, Josh Fallon comes out of nowhere like a little bullet.
But that time they rolled Joseph Cooper up there to the line of scrimmage. He took on the lead block, squeezed the sweep back to the inside, and that allows the linebacker to come up and make the tackle. When they ran their sweep in their first drive, there was no one up there to come up and contain. And when you play linebacker, if you don't have anybody containing the sweep, you're in a bad shape, to make the tackle. You're not in a good position anyway.
Twin backs, they split, they shift. Second and 12 for the Indians. The option, a late pitch. Boy, the Vikings are all over that. Fallon, J.R. Grant, and another loss on the play. Let's see where they'll put it down. Almost lost my breath there.
Well, we've had this little glitch. Choctaw has been called on to answer here. They've run 2 plays. Obviously, they've lost 10 yards on both plays. And now the momentum, as they say, has not switched back to Choctaw.
I don't know what play I'd call, but I don't believe it'd be that same one, do you?
Yeah.
I'd hold off on that one for a while.
Well, they got outside here. They got number 17, Earl Youngblood. And they may decide to throw long to him.
Zebanowski, option to the outside, a late pitch. Naylor, the Vikings stringing out, gain of maybe 2, but let's see where they put it down at the 12 window. It'll bring up a 4th and 18. Woo, a long ways. And a punting situation for the Indians. Look like Britt and Walker and Kelly all in on the tackle for the Vikings.
Well, this time Fort Walton quits making mistakes. The last drive, of course, they had 3 penalties, but that was a tremendous defensive series for Fort Walton.
Field position. Now, tell me about that.
Field position changes.
And I tell you what, a good punt right here would be very important to the Indians. Good snap. Naylor, an excellent punter, hits it high. It hangs. Almost hit a Viking in the head. Uh-oh, touched by the Vikings. Picked up by number 39 for the Indians. Matt Howard on his feet to the goal line. Touchdown, Indians. No flags. Although I haven't seen a referee stick his hands up yet.
Well, that's a touchdown.
Well, you think somebody would signal?
You know what? If we have replay, I'm not sure that Fabian Porter. I know he tried to get it, but I think he thought that it hit a Fort Walton player.
I think he was just trying to keep it from losing any more ground. That would be my theory on the plan.
Well,
I don't know how he missed the ball. But, boy, you're talking about an emotional change and a huge play. I think the referees are still trying to figure it out.
Well, it's a turnover and a Choctawhatchee touchdown. I think they may be discussing this 5-yard rule.
I think they're discussing that.
But you know what? That 5-yard rule only applies if you can catch the football.
I don't know. I'm at a loss here, but I think they're bringing it back.
You know what? I don't know if this is a 5-yard rule. You know, you got to give him, a 4-yard? You got to give him room to catch the football. If they are ruling that he did not have enough room to field the football, but that only applies if you can catch it. If you can't catch it, then the rule doesn't apply, does it?
We'll have to bring in someone a lot smarter than me.
Or the other thing is, if it touched a Choctawhatchee player before it touched, it could have.
I didn't see it touch anybody. It looks like they're going to have the ball, but they're not going to let them advance it.
No, you can advance a fumble in high school. Or can you?
It'll take someone a lot smarter than me to figure this one out. All I can tell you is they're going to take the touchdown away, and they're going to give it to the Indians 1st and 10 on the 50. We'll get a ruling, and we'll find out what happened there.
It might have to do with a muff punt. If it's a muff punt, you might not be able to advance it.
First and 10 for the Indians at the 50. Naylor dips in outside, picks up a 2, maybe at the 46. But either way, Wendell, boy, I tell you what a huge break for the Vikings.
Well, it is, but I think it might be the muff punt. You know, there is some rules, and it might be in high school, that if you muff a punt, you can recover it, but you can't advance it. So that might be the case.
First chance we get, we're going to report to you probably at the beginning of the second period. I'll go find a referee somewhere, somehow. We'll send our world-class
anyway,
spotter.
Fort Walton's defense have got to stiffen up here. They can't let that bother them.
2nd and 5. They need to do it just like they did it before, and the Indians need to keep it moving here. Boy, good catch on the run. Naylor out of bounds. Good tackle inside the 30 to the 29. Walker on the tackle for the Vikings. And the Indians right now trying to get the momentum back.
That's the second time they have run Naylor out in the flats. James Fallon cannot cover him. There's no way. Naylor's a lot faster than him. That's it. He has third man out. And Fallon, Choctaw can run that play all night because Fallon's not going to be able to cover Naylor.
First and 10 for the Indians. Marshall in the game. Quick give. Naylor, maybe 1 or 2. Somebody tripped him up in the background. Eric Smith looked like maybe Steele. Was it Steele on the carry?
Robbie Naylor just took a breather, and Keith Marshall, who has been coming in for Naylor in the last couple of games, has done an outstanding job. He has 351 yards rushing, but he had an outstanding game against Mosley. So Marshall's a good one.
Right behind Zebanowski. 2nd and 8 for the Indians. The ball spotted at the 27. The option, Zebanowski, the pitch. Naylor, the speedster, Steele on his feet inside the 10 to the 8. Ryan Kelly on the tackle, and you're right. Well, I tell you what, that's Steve Steele, the junior, lots of speed.
Well, he scares me. I told the coaches all week that the one guy that really scares me more than any of them was Steve Steele. But, you know, James Dorsler, number 18, was blocking on Javaris Walker out there in the corner that allowed Steve Steele to get that gain.
Inside the 10, the end of the first period. It's the Vikings 7, the Indians 7. We'll be back with some second quarter action and hopefully an explanation of that play in a moment.
Walton, after that first series, have really tightened up on the end. They have played the option great, and they're not going to. They've had really good coverage. Fallon and the pitch people that have the pitch man have really been doing a real good job.
Good enough where the Indians feel like they need to call a timeout here, regroup. You think you could have handled that in the middle of that quarter, wouldn't you?
All right, you know what? You and I are to read the rule book, and then we won't have this problem.
Hey, we work for a living.
But I figured that it was a muff. You can't advance a muff punt, but you know, there's so many different rules. You know, you go from college to they're to make them all the same.
Hey, I got most of. Here's what else I found out. You don't really have to know it because it doesn't change. You know, if I know it or don't know it, they're still going to rule it the same way.
Yeah, I know, but just as soon as you know it, it changes. Is that what you said?
All I have to do is report it.
Yeah.
I really don't have to know. You know what I mean? If they move it 10, they're not going to move it any different just because I tell them.
You know, we're talking about penalties. Choctawhatchee's been very inconsistent over the weeks because of penalties, but tonight they've been really good. There's Coach Moore right in the middle of the Indians.
Boy, he's got them in there tight, regrouped. And I tell you what, I bet he's got them pumped up and that adrenaline fired up. You bet you watch this offensive line come shooting off the ball right here.
Well, this is one of those big third down games.
Second goal for the Indians. Inside the 10, maybe at the 9. The give. Naylor outside, dips in, out. Carries inside the 5. A yellow flag on the play right at his feet. They'll put it out at the 2-yard line.
Now, this will be an interesting call. The referee on the far side had one, and the referee on the near side had one.
Yeah, we got two of them. One of them laying in the end zone.
We may have offsetting here. Everybody holds their breath to see what's happening. We got a clip on Choctawhatchee. We got a hold on Choctaw. Well, that's
and
what
too many men on the field.
Well, Fort Walton's got a decision to make here, guys. I mean, if you decline the penalty, it's 4th down.
No, if you decline the penalty, they're on the 2nd yard, on the 2-yard line, 3rd down.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Boy, am I behind.
This is an easy one to carry.
Oh, yeah.
Let me give you an easy decision to make here. You back them up as far as they'll let you.
My bad. I thought it was 3rd down.
At the 2. Let's see how I'd take both of them if they give them to me. Mark them off 30 yards.
You know what? We haven't had a crowd like this in a long time.
In the parking lot, you mean?
Well, here they're in now, I think. I'm looking out there. I think they've cleared it up.
I think they let them in for free. I think after the first period, let them in because I don't see the line anymore. They felt so bad that they were out there standing in the cold.
You know, this is a real dangerous area here with 2nd down because you get so much more room to throw the football.
Don't look. I'd be looking for Naylor once again out of that backfield.
Well,
2nd and goal. The ball sitting at the 16.
We're going to reverse. And there's nobody home.
Dorsla to the 10, the 5, touchdown. Indians.
What a call.
Great play by the Indians.
Just a great call. Fort Walton had been flying to the football when Zebediewski's been running the option. That time it came out to bite, and the ball was flipped to James Dorsla, and he picked up a block on the outside there. It looked like number 78, Hunter Wood, made the block, but they just tricked him.
And did a great job. I tell you what, that was an excellent pitch. Good timing there by the Indians. Steele to hold. Naylor to kick. These extra points make the difference in the whole game. Up, down. That one splits the middle. Good. And I tell you what, a change of momentum. Wendell 14 for the Indians. The Vikings 7.
And you know the thing about it, I'm looking at 2 teams all year offensively. Although Choctahatchee has not been very consistent, but Fort Walton has been pretty explosive. But I'm looking at 2 teams tonight whose offenses look pretty impressive. And against 2 pretty good defensive teams.
Well, good defenses get fooled on trick plays sometimes, you know.
Well, that was just an excellent call by the Choctahatchee coaching staff.
There's a good shot of the Viking cheerleaders.
Yeah, I was wondering, they're on the other side of the field, so we got a roving camera over there.
Naylor to kick off. Clements and Porter deep to receive for the Vikings. This one heads off to Chris Clements, taking it to 6-yard line. He'll step up behind the blockers, dives to the 21, tripped up. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 21. Rick Roman on the tackle for the Indians.
Fabian Porter getting up very slowly for the Vikings. That injury would be significant.
At the 21, Thompson will go to the far side. Dunmore here to the near side. Robinson to call signals in the I formation. Pitch. Porter. Guys a little room. Dazzles inside to the 26, to 27, the 28, and then the 29-yard line. We'll bring up a 2nd and 2. Tackle on the play by Eric Walbert for the Indians, and looked like maybe Ken Coward.
Fort Walton's had real good success with that pitch tonight. Looks like they've worked on it. I was of the opinion that they were not running the option or couldn't run it very well, but tonight they look so much better.
2nd and short. Motion on the play, but I tell you what, that throws a flag. You
What
bet
happened?
this one's illegal motion of some sort. Offsides.
Well, Fort Walton's, that's their 4th penalty, all called by the referee on this side. Boy, the mistakes keep piling up for Fort Walton. If in a game like this where you have 2 teams that are basically pretty evenly matched, that's a big factor. It's been a big factor tonight already.
Could have been 2nd and 2. Now you're looking at 2nd and 7. Twins to the far side. Roberts. McKinney off tackle. Down to the 26. Looked like Aaron Gibson on the tackle for the Indians. Pick up maybe about 3. They'll put it up at the 26, 3rd, and maybe 5.
You see how Fort Walton's backs are really running with both hands on the football, knowing full well the implications of a turnover. But when you do that a lot of times, you're a little tentative. You know, well, you can't make as many cuts.
They'll send trips to the far side. High formation, 3rd and 6. They'll run the option to the short side. Robinson turns in. Gain of 1 or 2, but short of the first down. Aaron Gibson, big hit that time for the Indians, takes him up short. 4th and 4, a punting situation for the Vikings.
There's no way that the Choctaw Indians are going to let him pitch it to Fabian Porter on that counter there.
Robinson to kick. Steele stands at the 40-yard line for the Indians. Timeout on the play.
Well, they have 12 men on the field. They were trying to get one of them off. If they would have snapped that thing and punted, then Choctaw would have had a penalty for having too many men on the football field.
And it would have
if
been
the
a first
referee
down.
was counting.
And it would have been a first down.
It would have been first down.
First down.
Yeah. So you went to the pep rally today.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I tell you what, I love those kids. They were having so much fun and so much
Miss
spirit.
Patty Bonizzi and
I'm sure that
Mrs. Barbara Britt put their heads together today, this year, and every one of our pep rallies have been great.
It brings. I was crying. It brought a tear to my eye. I tell you what, it was that emotional. It was great, and I'm sure the Indian pep rally is just as exciting. But I couldn't be in two places. Robinson to kick. Boy, he hits a high. Doesn't turn over. It'll go out of bounds. They'll walk it back to the 48, 47-yard line. Inside Viking territory. The Indians 1st and 10.
Well, it's a lot of Bobby Robinson. Been in a lot of action tonight. It's been sort of battered running the option, and then he drops back, has to punt the football, and
boy, I tell you,
that's tough. That's a tough job.
Of course, he's been doing it all year. It ain't like it's something new. But
the last couple of times, he has really been. They've been leveling the wood on him, and so to speak, by Choctaw defense, and he's not as fresh as he was.
Give off tackle. Ashley Reeves still on his feet, turns it up inside. It'll be good for a first down. The ball spotted at the 36-yard line. Tackled on the play looked like that time by Javaris Walker.
Once again, Choctaw running to the left side of Fort Walton defense, their right side.
I'll tell you one thing that I am impressed with Choctaw. This is my first time I've been able to watch them play this year. But they shift into so many different offenses that it really throws your defense off.
Well, they try to outman you on the corners and get around the outside. And as you can see, the defense has to adjust. If they outman you on the side, they can get a lot of yardage.
Quick give inside. No gain on the play. Maybe one. Carried on the play that time by Robbie Naylor. Looked like Josh Cartwright on the main tackle there.
Josh Cartwright just blew the gap there, and he almost hit Naylor in the backfield.
T.J. Britt also. But, yeah, when they shift and they move to this, you got a strong side linebacker, weak side, then all of a sudden they shift, and your defense has to shift, and you're not really set.
They try to get you to move around and try to outman you on the corners. And if they catch you in where they outman you, they can gain yardage. Now here's Steve Steele.
Steele outside. Flag on the play. 2 flags on the play. Tackled on the play. 3 flags on the play.
Well, that time Ryan Kelly did a great job, as well as James Fallon coming up. But you see Steve Steele was able to get 6 or 8 yards running the football. He's awesome. we're going to have another hold.
But this one went off early, so we're going to have a couple more calls.
Well, if it's from the point of the foul, it'll be from that yellow flag right there.
Or wherever they moved the flag.
Well,
I don't know what the first call was.
probably, a lot of times, both referees see the call and they both throw the flag, have the same thing.
But that first one comes shooting out of there real early.
Once again, penalties. Penalties hadn't been a bit big a factor on Choctaw.
Boy, and big penalties.
But this one is a big one.
Second and 20, the ball just inside the 45 at the 44.5. They'll send Twins to the left. Motion, steal. He'll turn up. Zebanowski drops the throw, catches Naylor out of the backfield to the 39-yard line. Covered on the play that time by number 49, Quentin Jackson. Good tackle. Pick up maybe about 6. It'll bring up a 3rd and 12 for the Indians.
You know, the Indians have really opened it up tonight. They've thrown so many different formations. They have spread out Fort Walton. That's a formation. No backs. Fort Walton has not seen that this year. Or maybe they have, but I haven't seen it this year.
Zebanowski, he'll set up in the shotgun formation. Twins right, split left. Trips to the right, excuse me. Easy snap. They'll throw to the outside. He has a man open. What a catch by Robbie Naylor. Oh, man, at the 11-yard line, diving. Hard to see from our angle, but we did see him turn and come up with it. What a play that time.
Well, that time they ran number 18, James Dorsla, inside on sort of like the quick screen, and they ran Robbie Naylor underneath him, sort of a crossing pattern, but that was a great throw by Zebanowski.
Oh,
but an even better catch by Robbie Naylor.
Tremendous play. 6:16 left here in the second period. The Indians on top, 14-7. The ball inside the 15-yard line at the 12. Naylor up the middle, no gain, maybe 1. Let's see here. They'll put it down at the 11. Josh Cartwright on the tackle for the Vikings.
I think Choctawhatchee's offense tonight is so much more creative than it has been in the last few weeks. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have been very consistent the last couple of football games. They've had Zebanowski at quarterback and Naylor. They haven't had any injuries. They've been working real well. It's like they're peaking at the right time.
Keith Marshall sitting at the fullback position. Motion, this time to give to Marshall. Boy, blasting up inside. Was that Cartwright? Mike Sims. Looked like he tripped him up in the backfield. Loss on the play, maybe 2. Bring up a 3rd and 11 for the Indians.
You know, looking down at these individual battles, Cartwright lining up over Tommy Bolin, but right now, Cartwright has been doing a great job. They haven't been able to get anything in his area.
Well, I tell you what, Vikings need to be concerned right now because every time the Indians call timeout, it's trouble.
Well, it's obvious that going 21-7, and it's a lot harder to overcome than 14-7, or even 17-7. But
I'd be looking for that reverse. Seems like they like to run that reverse play out of these timeouts.
You know, when you're a defensive coach, it isn't like you haven't ever told them that one person has responsibility for reverse. You know, before you leave home, as they say, the defensive man on that side, the defensive end, has to check for reverse. So the fact that it worked is always puzzles defensive coaches.
I bet that information's being transmitted right over there at that Viking huddle.
Well, you always got to stay home, as they say.
The Viking players out there saying, "Get on your feet. Let's get some crowd support in the game." There they go for the Vikings.
Well, you got the Viking.
Look at that crowd. Look, boy, I tell you, even the tracks are packed up.
Well, you got the Viking crowd now. This is a big series, and They should get up and get behind their team.
5:04, 3rd and 11. The ball sitting at the 13. Marshall, the lone setback. Zibanowski, the senior quarterback, to call signals. He drops, looks to the end zone, under pressure. Complete to Steele, the ball at the 2. Might be good for the first down. Ryan Kelly on the tackle. That was a bullet that time by Zibanowski.
Naylor and Zebanowski. I put that out there. Their daddy and mama going to get you. Zebanowski, but they have not been able to defend that play. They've only defended it one time. I think that's a 5th completion with Naylor out in the flats.
He's playing a heck of a ball game. How about if I just say Bryant? Brian threw a bullet. Good job,
This
Brian.
is a big down.
4th down and 2.
And they like to run to right into this wing right here.
Toss sweep. Naylor, touchdown, Indians.
Once again, Fort Walton did not shift over. They had a mismatch on the side. They overloaded the right side. Fort Walton didn't have enough people over there, and that was Naylor, of course, is a hard runner, but Fort Walton didn't make much of an adjustment on that double flanker on that right side, which they need to do if they're going to stop that play.
Great play that time by the Indians. Good play calling, and I tell you what, they take it once again inside the 50-yard line. Unofficially about 9 plays, eat up a lot of clock. The kick, oh so important, up, down, and good. Good hold that time by Steele. Good kick by Naylor as he congratulates that whole offensive line. And just like that, 4:12 left here in the second period. It's the Indians 21, the Vikings 7.
I think the difference tonight has been the creativity of the Choctaw offense. And, of course, their defense has come out there and stopped Fort Walton. Of course, Fort Walton has been his own worst enemies, but the fact that the Indians tonight have done everything. They've balanced their attack with running and passing. They've run some trick plays, some counters, and it's just a different Indian offense tonight.
There's still lots and lots and lots of football left here at Joe Etheridge Stadium. I tell you what, don't give up here, man. I tell you what, this thing's going to the wire. If you're an Indian fan, you got to like where you're sitting. If you're a Viking fan, hang on. There's lots more football to play. Naylor to kick. Taken in the end zone. Clements tries to run it back. They'll spot it at the 20, 4:12.
I wonder what the reasoning was behind not letting him run it out of the end zone in high school football.
That's one of those rule things I don't have to be concerned with.
I have never understood that. Yeah.
They just make them up, and I just report them. I don't have to outguess them.
I don't know if it's an injury thing or whatever.
Sure would make the game a little more exciting, wouldn't it? 1st and 10, Robinson on the outside. Boy, I tell you what, they were banged up in there together. Porter tried to get free. Good coverage on the play that time. Looked like McCoy for the Indians. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Looked like a little pushing going on there, a little inadvertent contact.
Antonio McCoy had his eye on the football, so it's what they call incidental contact. And I'd rather for the referee not to throw the flag on that. I don't think there was.
I think it was good.
Nobody
defense.
got an advantage.
That was a good defensive play. That's what I'd call it. Vikings with motion. The reverse this time. Boy's got some room out here. Needs some speed. 20, is that Jay Roberts? No, Anthony Carter, the senior running back.
Well, that time you want to see good technique. It was Jamie Neighbors. But Jamie Neighbors almost got hooked by a crack back block, but he kept his outside shoulder free, was able to get his momentum to the outside, or that would have been a long game, but Neighbors did a great job on that.
Carter, the sophomore running back.
He's a freshman.
Freshman running back. McKinney tripped up at the line. Looks like they may get him the first down. Let's see where they put it down. Yes, they do. The 31-yard line. Tackled on the play that time. Looked like by George Stone.
Well, obviously, if Fort Walton can keep it together here and score going into half, that would change the direction of this game tremendously. But I think that Fort Walton's got to come up with a little creativity here, because I don't think they're going to be able to run right at the defense of Choctahatchee. They're going to have to open it up.
Their first drive tonight were
if you look
first down, first down, first down.
The Indians have 11 people in the block, so to speak, there.
McKinney running with all heart, picks up 4. Looked like tackled on the play. Let's see if they pile them out. Matt Howard. Looked like Rick Roman also they're unpiling. 2nd and 6 for the Vikings. Time on the favor of the Indians, 3:13, and continues to run. Stick around. You know, of course, one of the greatest halftime shows, the 2 best bands in all of Northwest Florida playing here tonight. Something you'll really enjoy. The pitch, the late pitch. Carter. He'll run out of bounds at the 39. Stop the clock.
Once again, Fort Walton running the option very efficiently. Bobby really making that defensive end of Choctahatchee commit before he pitches the football, and they've executed the option really well tonight. This is one of those big 3rd down plays. Now you look at Fort Walton, they're in a double wing set, as you can see, and they have all of Choctahatchee's, all 11 players are inside that box at the line of scrimmage.
Robinson, the keeper, good for the first down to the 46-yard line. McKinney on a great dive fake.
Good running, good tough running inside by Bobby too. He had to get the first down.
Matt Howard on the tackle there for the Indians. First and 10 for the Vikings at the 46. Robinson, the keeper, boy, I tell you what, fooled nobody. A bullet. Ken Coward looked like George Stone, comes from nowhere. Tackling, loss on the play of maybe 3. A timeout on the play.
I just don't believe that Fort Walton can drive the ball in that set all the way down the football field.
Not in 2 minutes and 13 seconds either.
Nope. Neighbors, Stone, and Gibson just run to the football so well. I think that if there's a weakness that the Fort Walton could exploit, it's the defensive backs. Not because they're not a good football players, but because Ryan Thompson and Gary Dunmore are a lot bigger and a little bit quicker. You have Isaiah Porter on one side is 5'8". Ryan Thompson is 6'1". On the other side, Gary Dunmore is 6 foot. And of course, Tony McCoy is 5'10".
Second and 14, 2:13 left here in the half. The Vikings trailing 21-7. Robinson's plenty of time to throw. He's got a man open on the outside, complete that time, and a flag on the play. Ryan Thompson, the senior. Isaiah Porter tackles him. It looks like it'll be a face mask. Boy, that'll hurt right here.
That was a great, strong throw and a little out pattern. Ryan Thompson in motion. But there you see what I'm talking about. You spread Choctahatchee up. You create a mismatch. Ryan Thompson, great speed, good hands, good height. You got Bobby Robinson going to throw the football. You know, that's what's going to get Choctahatchee, loosen them up so that you can run the football at them.
They brought Thompson all the way from the far side in motion, slipped him out in the flats, and Robinson caught him with a bullet. Good for the first down. The ball inside the 30-yard line at the 29, 2:03 left here in the half.
That just disrupts your coverage so much when you do that.
Robinson to give. Porter dances up in the middle. Gang tackled by the wall of green. Pick up a 2. 1:48. The clock runs. Look like George Stone, Jamie Neighbors there on the gang tackle.
Now you get down to that clock management.
Yeah, I'd say airborne management would be my call. 2nd and 8. Robinson on the corner, looking to throw. Chase turns it up to the 20, out of bounds at the 15, the 16-yard line. 1:16 left here in the play. Denard Thomas on the tackle for the Indians.
Well, that's a good play there. You have a little counter which holds the linebackers. You get Bobby on the corner to run and throw. You allow him to run out of bounds. That's a good call. Great call.
Good bootleg that time by Robinson. He had some pressure on the outside, but the bootleg fake is what brought him onto the corner. The ball sits at the 17-yard line. The Vikings trailing 21-7.
Now you got Isaiah Porter, who's 5'8". You got Ryan Thompson, 6'1" on the outside there.
Boy, the option fools none of the Indians. Aaron Gibson smash mouths him right there.
Well, Robbie had no place to go. They had somebody on the pitch, and of course Bobby had no place to go that time.
54 seconds. The clock continues to run. Second and 14. Robinson drops the throw. He's got a man open. Complete at the 3, and boys, he hit hard. Mike Mangum on the catch. Denarius Thomas jacks him right there at the 3-yard line.
Now Mike Mangum's coming out. Do they have a timeout? The question is, they need to line up and spike it, or did they call timeout? They call timeout. You know,
oh, man, Mike Mangum, how did he hang on to that ball?
Well, you know, we've been talking about the tight end. I think Fort Walton tonight, if they throw to the tight end, that's going to be open. Mike Mangum just ran right through the seam of that zone defense, and boy, it was just a great catch, but even better because who hit him? Somebody hit him.
Denario Thomas and Jamie Neighbors lit him up.
I should have guessed it.
Christmas come early.
Denario Thomas stood him up. Jamie Neighbors finished him off. But Mike, to his credit, held on to the football.
Unbelievable.
Now
I'd have coughed that thing up. That thing would have shot so high, it looked like Mount Vesuvius.
Now, what do you call?
You know what? I would call
hey, that's a tough call.
Anything that saves the clock.
Well, you can't run the football. If they stop you, you don't score unless you got another timeout.
You can run it if you run it in the end zone. And he's got a corner. He goes in. McKinney, touchdown, Vikings.
Well, you know, they put Fabian Porter in motion, and that made Fort Walton outman them on the corner in the pitch. They didn't have Choctaw didn't have anybody in the pitch man. So a great call.
You can't run the ball.
But see what happens when you spread them out and you run motion.
I tell you what, the best part is that Bobby Robinson, boy, he is reading the defense and reading that defensive end and holding it just long enough. Boy, a bad snap. Robinson with Clements, give all the credit to Clements, man. He picked that one off the ground, put it up for the hold, and Robinson boots it through, boy. And well, here, 33 seconds when it changes everything.
Well, you know, the thing about it, a lot of time little things win football games. And just the fact that Chris Clements was able to handle that snap, it's a very big thing. And we'll when we look back at this football game, you say, well, who won the football game? If Fort Walton were to win, you'd say, well, Chris Clements, when he handled the snap correctly.
Well, I'd say if they win by 1.
And if they win by 1, it'd be a
then I'd give that call to Chris Clements.
And Chris Clements' daddy built the boat.
Rick, his mom, who works up in the front office there for a while, and I saw her today. I thought she was one of those cheerleaders. Then I looked over closely enough, and I looked at it. She was a teacher, but she looks about 20, 21 years old. How's that?
Well, I know that Fort Walton, with all the mistakes they have made, they feel real good about 21-14 right now.
Well, nobody is on their feet right now. Both sides are kind of quiet and silent. Robinson kicks a little squiver. It'll go into the end zone. Steele will let it go. The junior A smart play there, 33.2. And let's see if the Indians are happy to go in 21-14, or do they pull something out of the bag of tricks?
I think that they'll probably, and I could be wrong, and I usually am, but I think that I would sit on the football right now.
"33 seconds. You can get a couple, 3 good passes off of that."
Well, that's what they're going to do. Guess what they're going to run?
They're going into the halftime. They're going to play smart. They're going to play smart football. Stick around now. Don't forget halftime. You know, you got the Vikings and the Indians, still the best halftime bands, you know, anywhere in the South, and especially
attention to the 40-yard line. They were coming to it. Chris Killingsworth and Austin Smith.
Got a sellout crowd and standing room only, and we got a great football game. The offenses have come tonight.
Naylor kicks it. Picked up on that play. Number 6, Mike Mangum, who just caught right before halftime, caught the big play on the 3-yard line. Boy, he was tippy-toeing, but he was following some blockers.
You know, I wonder, he raised his hand like tag team when he got hit, and I wonder if he knows what half it is. He really, Jamie
right.
Neighbors and Denario Thomas really nailed him. It was a great catch and set up the second Viking touchdown, which really kept them in the football game.
Important drive here for the Vikings. 1st and 10. Robinson will keep it, turn it up inside, good for 5 yards. Of course, halftime win, I tell you what, is so exciting when you run into all the old people and the fun people that are here. I ran into a couple guys we hope to get up here in the booth here during the second half. Of course, Max Bruner, who was superintendent of schools for a number of years, and probably the reason why all of us is here. And of course, Jackie Burkett, the famous player from Choctaw.
The football game's the reason. That finally this game means something.
And they all showed up. Quick give inside. Porter, he's off to the races to the 40, the 35. It's a foot race. Oh, Wendell, touchdown for the Vikings. No flags, and just like that, boy, I tell you what, Wendell, it happens in a hurry, and guess what? We have a football game.
Well, we were talking at the beginning of the show, 2 people that can break this game open. Steve Steele for Choctahatchee. You just saw the other one, Fabian Porter. A little lead play of Anthony McKinney, offensive line, Waddell Colbert and J.W. Williams open the hole, and Fabian Porter can outrun anybody.
And the most important player of the game, Chris Clements, to hold the snap up and good.
And I don't think Choctahatchee, even against Rutherford, has been burned like the Fort Walton Beach offense tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wendell, 21-14 about 40 seconds ago. Now it's all even.
Well, that's the way we like it. We like an even ball game. We got a crowd here. Let's have a good football game.
Smash mouth football. It couldn't be better in front of the hometown fans. Anyway, I was mentioning before the game, they honored one of the most famous Indians, went on to play pro ball, Jackie Burkett, and we're hoping we can get him up here in the second half and visit us for a few minutes and tell us about the tradition of Choctahatchee football.
Well, we were talking about why there's a big crowd tonight. We know the problems that Choctahatchee has had winning the last 2 years, and that has taken a little luster off this football game. The Vikings handled them very, very easily the last 2 years, but the fact is that Choctahatchee's Coach Bobby Moore has brought the Choctahatchee Indians back to where they used to be. Good football team before big crowds.
Robinson, boy, his adrenaline's pumped up. A touchback. Boy, that one was high and long.
Well, if you're a defensive coach, you love to hear that. Love to see that.
The Indians will take over 1st and 10 at the 20. And Wendell, what do you think's going through these Indians' minds?
Well, there's no reason to panic. It's early. Their offense have shown that they can move against Fort Walton. So, you're still in the football game. You're not going to go hide, but they've got to answer. The old momentum, as they say, has shifted very mightily on the side of the Vikings.
The Indians need a long drive. The Vikings need good field position. Just like that, Brian Zebanewski brings it outside across the 50 into Viking territory. J.R. Grant wrestles him down to the 48. But boy, I tell you what, great play.
Both offenses have been running real well. And the thing about it, when you talk about quarterbacks, you have Zebanewski, who's a senior. You have Bobby Robinson, a senior. And the big thing that separates good quarterbacks, that's why you like seniors, decision making. And tonight, both of them have made real good decisions on the option. They've both made real good throws when they pass the ball. They have not gotten themselves beat by making bad decisions, and that's all you can ask. If you're an offensive coordinator, it's your quarterback, make good decisions to keep your football team in the game.
Indians overload to the near side. They run Naylor out of here, out of bounds. He'll pick up 2. Wendell, like you said, the Vikings have to shift on that trips to the near side.
Well, you got David Mueller, 6'4", 235, the tight end. and he's locked up on Quentin Jackson, 175, and he's driving Quentin Jackson right off the line of scrimmage. And you know, when you do that, you cut off the linebacker's ability, like Eric Smith can't pursue. And so that's why they're having success running, besides being outmanned in a corner, having success running in that direction.
Quick give inside. Naylor, he'll pick up 4. I'll tell you what, that steal, Zebanewski, was it a keeper?
Well, another thing tonight, you've noticed there's been real good ball, faking. If you fake the ball real well, especially if you've established something in offense, the fullback. We know Nader's good. We know Tony McKinney's good. So that fake or the give to the fullback sets up everything. And if it's a real good fake, it tricks the defense. It's just as good as a block.
In the shotgun, Zebanewski drops, looks over the middle. Throw complete that time to Dorsla. Tackled on the play by Dergenet. The ball out of bounds at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Indians.
Well, there you have that crossing pattern from the left side out of the spread. And you know, there's a lot of people that said that Zebanewski running out of the shotgun, that's where he can do really well. He's real tall, 6'1". He's got a good arm, and you know, it's just tailor-made for the Zebanewski, who has a real good arm.
Zebanewski almost a 60% passing percentage.
Well, tonight he's gone over 60%.
And I'll tell you what, he's had some receivers pull some great catches. 1st and 10 for the Indians at the 26. Give, Naylor on the outside. Great play that time. Javarius Walker, I tell you what, I thought he was going to get juked, but he reached out there and put the claw on it.
Well, that time, the linebacker on the outside, though, for Fort Walton came up tough and took on the block tough. Did not allow Naylor to get to the outside, and Choctaw is going to be hurt by another penalty here. That's Choctawhatchee's first penalty to half. There's their 5th one tonight, and that's their 3rd holding penalty tonight.
Boy, it brings them on back to the 39.
But you know the thing about it, Alan, also, you've noticed that both football teams, Fort Walton hasn't been able to play through every mistake they made, but Choctawhatchee has done a good job of overcoming their mistakes.
1st and 25, the ball sitting at the 38. Big break for the Vikings. Trips to the far side. Zebanewski and Steele. Zebanewski drops the pass out on the flats. Complete to Robbie Naylor. Chased, but not fast enough. Wendell, that play's worked for him all night long. Down to the 18. Quentin Jackson and Javarius Walker on the tackle for the Vikings.
Well, that play has been there all night, and I thought that when Fort Walton went into at halftime, they were going to make an adjustment there. But there you see, a lot of times you make an adjustment, but the people you're making the adjustment with don't realize how quick Robbie Nader gets out to the flat. And there you see what we were talking about. Choctawhatchee, their penalties have not hurt them as bad as the penalties that Fort Walton has had tonight. Their offense has been able to overcome them.
Boy, I tell you, who else you got to give huge credit to. Of course, that offensive line gives him plenty of time to throw, but Zebanewski has put it on the money all night long.
Well, he's got a good arm. He's got a good, accurate arm. That's the only element of Choctawhatchee's offense that's been missing throughout the years, the ability to throw the football. They've done a good job tonight.
Quick, inside. Robbie Naylor, wham! No gain. J.R. Grant on the tackle and a late flag. Boy, you hate to see these things.
And where that's thrown, it's either a motion or
it was after the play.
Unsportsmanlike. Wow. Woo. Now, you know, there's a lot of penalties. There's penalties that you make because you're enthusiastic. And then there's dumb penalties.
That's a dumb one.
And unsportsmanlike is a dumb penalty.
That's a shot in the foot.
Yeah, I know. You can avoid dumb penalties by being not, just don't draw those. Don't taunt. You don't have to taunt your opponents. Don't do a late hit. Don't take a swing. Those are things you can control.
I tell you what scares the Viking offense. Zebanewski in that shotgun position.
They ran a reverse out of this They're going to run.
Zebanewski, plenty of time. Drops the
Man.
throw, throws it on the outside. Intercepted that time. Number 13, Joseph Cooper, dragged down from behind. Boy, who got on the tackle?
And I wonder if this penalty is going to be the first bad decision that Brian's made tonight. You know, just a moment ago, I was looking in there. J.R. Grant was tackled by the lineman, by the Choctaw lineman. I don't see who was on him. This is going against the Vikings.
A late clip, you think?
What is it going to be? A clip on the return. Boy, well, you get a turnover and pretty good field position, but this is well, you know, this is as good as a punt with the penalty.
Hey, are they going to give us a signal?
Hey, clip.
The genius.
And once again, penalties a factor tonight.
A genius. Hey, I tell you what, if I'm on the Vikings, that's the penalty. That penalty doesn't hurt me. That's one of those aggressive penalties. 1st and 10 at the 20.
No, a clip is a dumb penalty.
Aggressive play. McKinney up the inside. Pickup of 8. Looked like tackling a place that time. Aaron Gibson.
We were talking about, someone asked me, what about Fort Walton? Fort Walton plays better the second half. Last week they came in only 1 touchdown against Gulf Breeze, ended up scoring 30 points in the second half to win, going away 50 to 20, I think.
2nd and 8. Robinson, good move inside, good decision, but boy, he paid for it. If he gets up off of this one.
That option tonight has worked so much better for Fort Walton tonight.
Jamie Neighbors made him pay, but I tell you what, it's 3rd and short for the Vikings.
Well, one of the reasons it's worked so well is Bobby Robinson has made the right decision on that option, which is, you know, the quarterback's expected to make the decision. Another thing that Bobby's doing this week, he's getting up the field. He's running north and south and getting all he can on that.
Robinson, the keeper, boy, he spins, turns. The senior quarterback gets the first down for the Vikings, running with heart. George Stone, Jamie Neighbors on the tackle, but not before he gets to the 42-yard line, and 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Boy, that was all Robinson there.
I looked out there just a moment ago, and Jamie Neighbors is limping very noticeably. He might have just got kicked, but
1st and 10 from the 42. McKinney, the quick give, still on his feet. Boy, I tell you what, they made him pay. Pursuit from the Indians. Aaron Gibson, looked like Walbert, McNabb.
a lot of times you ask, well, you've been running outside so well, why do you do that? Well, you've got to give the ball to the fullback. It's called keeping the defense honest. And of course, you know, with Tony McKinney, he also has breakaway speed. So that's running that play right up the middle on the sort of the dive, which is sets up the option, is a good call on 1st down.
Matt Howard with a good tackle for the Indians. Robinson drops the pass. Plenty of time. Under pressure, though. Boy, I tell you what, great coverage that time of the guys in green. Matt Howard pulls him down, and you wonder why he didn't throw that one away.
Well, he started to, but he saw that he might have gotten intentional grounding. You know, he started to throw the football away, but, you know, it's just one of those things. You know, that's something you're asking a lot of your quarterback to do in a big game like this, is to throw the ball out of bounds when he's running for his life.
Loss of about 11 on the play. They'll stick it down at the 33. Robinson drops the pass. Plenty of time. He throws to the outside. Got a man. Complete. Boy, I don't know where they're going to spot it, but it's close to the 1st down. Ryan Thompson on the catch.
Boy, Bobby has been on the money on that little out pattern to Ryan Thompson, and Ryan Thompson has played a great game tonight. He's caught every one of those that's been thrown like that, and it's a good throw and catch by them.
Boy, you talking about a measurement.
I tell you what, you talk about pressure on referees. Every Fort Walton coach was over there helping him out, helping him
Can you
spot
get it?
the,
Zoom it over
spot
there
the
if you can.
football
There you
there.
go. Look at all those heads in that pile.
They're going now. What kind of measurement's that?
Oh, he's short. He's short about an inch.
Well, you got to go for it on this. This is a big football
See
game.
if you can zoom down. Let's see if we can get some camera work from the top.
Now you
Watch
got-
him put this ball down.
Now you got to say, well, look, boys, if we can't get
Give
an
me that
inch tonight,
football.
if we can't get an inch, then we don't need to deserve to win this football game.
Oh, man, that's an inch. Fourth and an inch.
You get your heavy team in there. Woo. You got, you get your heavy team on defense. You get your heavy team in there on offense. Woo. And then it's just man to man.
Smash mouth. I've seen worms that weren't that long.
And if center just moved the ball, it's already a first down.
They go from the eye. First down for McKinney.
And boy, you know,
What I was worried about is somebody jumping. Because there was a lot of jumping around going on. I thought any one of them could jump. Looked like Ken Coward on the tackle there.
Ken Coward made the stop on that, but that was a good call. I thought McKinney almost went in motion there. We dodged a big bullet there.
Twins to the near side. Thompson here in the slot. Robinson, the late give to Porter. He twists and turns, finds a seam in there, picks up 4. They'll bring it to the 43-yard line. Denario Thomas on the tackle for the Indians. I tell you what, Wendell, you just don't get it any better than this.
Well, the thing about it, Choctawhatchee's defense now has got to start. They got to make something happen. Of course, when you're a defense, you always want
This
to
could be
make
the best
something
football
happen.
game I've ever seen in this stadium. 3:36 left here in the third period. Tripped up inside. Pickup of still 4 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3. The ball spotted at the 40-yard line. Tyshawn McNabb on the tackle for the Indians.
And had Tyshawn not done that, Tony McKinney would have been off to the races. So that was a good play. He split the gap there, got upfield a little bit, but shoestring tackle on Tony McKinney.
The
This is one of
fans
those
pretty
big-
quiet here tonight. I tell you what, the Indian fans are quiet.
Well, they're noisy. Big third down play here.
Boy, he runs out of room. It wasn't because his legs weren't driving. No gain. Great play that time by the Indian defense. Looked like Aaron Gibson, Wahlberg, Ken Coward all up there.
Oh, there you say the defense of Choctawhatchee rising to the occasion. That was a big stop by them on third down.
Matt Howard there leading the charge also. Now you talking about field position. Of course, it looks like the Vikings are going to go for it.
Well, a punt may go in the end zone anyway, so you're not going to gain much by punting the football.
A late pitch on the corner. I
Boy,
believe
it's
it's
short
short.
where they mark it.
Denario Thomas.
Well,
on
I don't know what kind of
the
mark.
tackle.
And there you have the other coaches. They're
I believe he's short.
boy, he didn't get the best mark. I couldn't tell, but and the referee,
Now things have changed.
the referees are
Look
all
at the heads on this deal.
the coaches are all over there. They're measuring it
I
too.
tell you what, goes around, comes around, buddy. I think he's short.
He did not get the best spot. You know, you can put the right foot down and the left foot down. There's
about
Coach Moore. He's talking to the referee right now.
Maybe he didn't get the right spot for the Vikings. He might have got the right spot for the
Well, that's a
Indians.
lot of pressure over you not to spot it right.
He's short. He's short. And the Indians rise to the occasion here. 2:11 left in the third period. The Indians 21, the Vikings 21, and they will take over at the 40-yard line.
Just real good pursuit by Choctawhatchee and a real good solid tackle there on the corner.
A game of inches.
That's what they say, isn't it?
I just said it.
You can say it again. It's a game
I was
of
standing in
inches.
the kitchen when he said it. Okay. Now, I guess if you're pulling for the green, you need 6. If you're pulling for the white, boy, you need some big defense. Me, I'm just sticking in the middle. On the corner to give that time to Jason McCoy.
Well, you know, Steve Steele did a great job blocking Quentin Jackson there. Quentin Jackson got hooked, and that allowed Ashley Reeves to get on the corner, but a great block by Steve Steele on Quentin Jackson.
Second and short. We're going to get Jackie Burkett here in the booth. Probably the guy who knows more about football than anybody here in this stadium. Second and short. Jackie, you got those headsets on?
Don't worry about the plug.
Naylor, what a move. I tell you what, boy, I believe he's got the first down. Let's see what they'll mark it. The ball certainly crossed. They're probably going to bring it in and mark it on that one. Jackie, now for those of us that missed the pregame show, the Choctaw Indians were honoring you. Catch us up to speed on what that was all about.
Alan, that was they were referring to an honor that, I can't hear it. They were referring to an honor that I just got notice of, that I'm going to be honored at the SEC championship game up in Atlanta. That's going to be in the first part of December. And unfortunately, it looks like my team, Auburn, is not going to be represented up there this year, but I'm sure we'll have 2 fine teams, and they're going to honor me as a living legend, and I hope I'm still living when when the event comes about.
Well, you are certainly a legend. I tell you what, played many years here at Choctahatchee. Maybe you can catch us back up on some of the old Choctahatchee football.
Well, I'll tell you what, these guys here really impressed me tonight. I can't believe how sophisticated these high school teams are in their offenses.
That boy right there, Robbie Naylor, the speedster for Choctahatchee. Was it different when you played ball?
He has really impressed me, as a matter of fact. Neighbor has. Well, yeah, it was different. It was just much less complicated. Most of us played both ways, of course, so you had to know the offense and the defense. So our plays were pretty simple, but we still passed the ball and we still ran it. We ran the option play and we ran off tackle and up the middle, and we had some good plays, but these guys here with emotions and everything, they've really impressed me. Both teams are very well coached.
Now, I know you've probably seen a lot of people in the stands. Let's catch this play. 1st and 10 here for the Indians. The ball at the 48. Zebanewski on the option. The late pitch. Boy, it's in and out of the hands that time. Number 44, Ashley Reeves, the junior. He does a great job of pulling it up that time. Tackled on the play. Looked like by James Fallon for the Vikings. Now, Jackie, catch us up now for the fans that are not here. Tell us a little bit about your football career.
Well, of course, right here in Fort Walton Beach, actually Shalimar is where it all started, right up there at Choctahatchee High School in the old location where it was in Shalimar, up there where Meggs is now. We had games such as this. Of course, you didn't have Fort Walton High School then. Our big rival at that time was Crestview. And, of course, being in the same county like that, there were only 2 major high schools in the county, and one was Crestview and one was Choctahatchee.
Well, we'll be back with Jackie Robinson to hear the final of that information here at the start of the 4th quarter. Stick around. We got a football game. It's the Indians 21, the Vikings 21. We'll be back with some 4th quarter action here in a moment.
For 10 years, the cable industry has been helping teachers teach through cable in the classroom. That's cable in the classroom. All the great things that cable can be in the classroom. It's free to schools, commercial free, and it's educational. There's a great, big, wonderful world out there, and cable in the classroom brings it into the classroom. I wish they had it when I was a kid.
Cable in the Classroom is a public service of Cox Communications.
Alan Winslet here, 4th quarter action. The Vikings 21, the Indians 21. 2nd and 15 for the Indians. In the booth with me, one of the greatest Indians of all time, Jackie Burkett. The reverse, we saw it earlier. It went for 6. Here it is again. What a block that time downfield. 20, the 10, the 15. He's all by himself.
My goodness.
And nobody there.
He really took off. And boy, what a block.
And I tell you what, Javaris Walker Boy, he took a hit on the play. But
What a block. I bet
just
you,
like that. They've run that reverse twice and 2 for a touchdown.
I bet you he'll remember that for a long time.
Christmas come early. Jackie, of course, it's always great to tell us about your college and your pro athlete football. What was the greatest moment you ever had in the pro sports?
Well, I guess after the fact, I guess the greatest thing was that kick that Tom Dempsey made for the world record field goal in 1970.
You got a bird's eye view of that, didn't you?
But I sure did. As a matter of fact, I never will forget, Alex Karras was lined up right across the line from me, and he was just laughing. He said, "What are you guys doing now? You know, like this is impossible." And then he stood there, and his eyes were just about as big as saucers because the ball went through the upright. But like I say, that was after the fact. When it happened, I knew it was a great thing, but it was sort of lost in the fact that we won a game, and we had much the same kind of year that the Saints are having this year. That is not a very good one. So a win was a win. You know, we were happy because we won the game, but then we realized later on that world record field goal would hold up. I never thought it'd hold up as long, but it still holds the record. It's been tied now, but it still hadn't been beaten. And we're 29 years later, I guess.
And of course, you were watching it from the center position.
Right, absolutely.
See, and now if you would have messed up that snap.
Well, there was no pressure on it because if I'd messed up the snap, nobody would have ever known the difference. They'd say, "What are you guys trying to field goal like that for anyway?"
Well, I'll tell you what, as they kick off, and they've been kicking it in the end zone, Chris Clements will take it at the 4. He'll turn it up the middle. Got a little running room, takes a crease. Boy, I tell you what, is the ball out, the Vikings will take it back over. Jackie, it's always great to hear from the old Indians. We saw Max Bruner downstairs. We're going to try and get him up here in a few minutes. Any final words on how great this football game is and how much you enjoy coming back to Fort Walton?
Well, let me tell you what, I'm back in Fort Walton now to live, and I have never been happier, as a matter of fact. I've always wanted to get back here, and I've finally done it, and I'm just tickled to death, as a matter of fact. And you'll see me out here at a lot of the Choctaw football games. You can bet on it.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. We want to thank you so much for stepping up here and taking your time. Robinson on the carry to the 15 to 30 out for the first down at the 32-yard line. Any final words, Jackie?
I'll tell you what, that Robinson kid for Fort Walton has really impressed me tonight. He's got a lot of talent. I wouldn't mind seeing him up at Auburn one of these days.
Okay. Wendell, I tell you what, man, always great to have these old football players in. They probably know as much about you and me, and they probably know all the rules.
I bet you he and I used to run the same offense, you know. You run right, run left, and run up the middle. Yeah.
First and 10, out of room, but trying to find a place. I tell you what, Robinson takes it to the 43. Boy, he gets smashed right in the face.
Well, you know why we were sitting here watching it? That reverse that Choctaw has run twice. And you know that Fort Walton coaches have gone over that. You know, but you know, a lot of times you can use enthusiasm as a weapon. You know, everybody wants to get in there and pass a lick, and then you get them flowing with the motion in the backfield, and boy, those reverses have been just outstanding.
2nd and 5 for the Vikings at the 43, trailing 7 points, 28-21. Alan Winslet and Wendell Brock here in the booth for Cox Cable. Robinson on the outside has a receiver complete. That ball to Jay Roberts on his feet all the way. Touchdown, Vikings, no yellow hankies, and wham, we do it again.
Right back. Jay Roberts went in motion, nothing very complicated. Turned up the field, ran a straight fly pattern, ran right by Antonio McCoy, and Bobby Robinson threw just a rainbow, and just a good move by Jay Roberts. That's his first touchdown this year.
That was a Cy Young Award-winning strike.
And now this kick right here, all important kick.
They're all important. Clements the hole, Robinson the kick, up, down, through the middle, and good. Wendell, 10:29 left here in the period, and it's all even, 28-28. And like I said, if anybody knows about snaps, it's Jackie Burkett.
Well, you know, it's the game tonight. I'm just so excited about opening the offense. You know, they have skilled people. You know, I don't know. I guess tonight the coaches said, look, we can execute these trick plays. I don't call them trick plays. Reverse is a very basic play. And putting a man in motion, turning him upfield is a very basic play. But, you know, the thing about it is they both offenses tonight have been very efficient, and except for the one fumble the interception by Brian Zebanushki, as we mentioned earlier, both he and Bobby are having great nights.
Hey, I tell you what, here's the problem here tonight. If you're weak of heart, you don't need to be in this stadium, because I tell you what, the emotional level has gone up and down and up and down. I'm talking about for both sides.
And of all the times I need O'Connor's game by game, year by year scores, I don't know, has one of these gone in overtime?
Not that I can think of. I don't ever remember them. Boy, you talking about some adrenaline pumped up. Look at old Robinson. Now that flag, you can take a picture of that flag over there in the end zone. It's not moving a lick. So there's no wind out there. And, buddy, he pumped up and kicked that thing.
That's good, because it's all even. It's all even. I hate, when you get a win, everybody's equal. You can throw at either end. And now the Indians are called upon to answer back, to shift the momentum back to their side.
And I tell you what, they've answered the call all night.
Every time.
That senior quarterback has had a tremendous night. The senior running backs, they're going to split it. Trips to the near side, twins to the far side, motion. The give around the end. That time, it looks like Jason McCoy, the sophomore.
Once again, Quentin Jackson, who has responsibility for that sweep, has been getting hooked by the blocker on that side. I don't know if it was Steve Steele, of course, but the Fort Walton has not defensed the sweep on that side tonight very well. That's Jason McCoy, number 3.
Jason McCoy, yeah. The sophomore, 5'6", 165 pounds. He used it all that time.
When you have contain on the sweep, you must come up to the line of scrimmage and not allow anybody to block your outside shoulder. And they've been getting the Quentin Jackson's outside shoulder.
Zebanushki on the outside tries to get that pass in the flats to Naylor. Covered on the play that time by James Fallon. He was a step ahead, not a step behind that time.
Well, he was good coverage that time, and I know that the last time they completed, they went over it. I was talking to Coach Glenn Mayer. He said, yeah, we've made an adjustment, and they came right out in the third quarter and ran it, completed it again, and James Fallon was nowhere in the area. I'm quite sure that when he came off the field, he got some a coach's attention.
Trips to the far side. The single receiver over here, Zebanushki, the quick give inside. Naylor, good for the first down. He'll fall over the 30. Looked like T.J. Britt piled it up, but a little bit short. And Josh Cartwright also on the help. 10-11, Wendell. The clock continues to run here.
Well, you know what? Of all the games, I think I've seen every game since 1973, and this might go down as a classic.
Oh, it already is a classic. Naylor, the speedster on the outside, runs into half the Viking football team over there.
Once again, the Vikings are soft over there. Number 42, the James Fallon, the linebacker responsible for scraping and coming up and containing that, was driven way off the line of scrimmage. But it all starts with that block on the Fort Walton's defensive end on that side.
And a yellow hanky on the play. They'll bring it back. Let's see how far they'll mark it.
Is this going to be another hold? Maybe that's why they've been running around the end.
They got a whole new technique. A whole new technique.
We got a holding. Once again, a holding.
Is that a whole? They got a whole new technique.
That is Choctawhatchee's 7th penalty.
According to who?
And 4th holding penalty tonight. That's a lot of yardage you're losing there.
Woo.
But you know what? They've played through that. They've played through it.
1st and 20, quick pitch on the outside. Naylor tries to get the corner, chase from behind. Shows the speed, shows the moves. Good for the 32, pickup of 11. 2nd and 9 for the Indians. Tackled on the play that time. Looked like by Ryan Kelly.
Well, there's no way that Eric Smith can get out there. He's just got to get out there quicker on pitch. but I don't think he has pitch man on that play. It's got to be a defensive end that has coverage on the outside, but there's no way that he can beat Naylor on the corner there. And then once again, like we said, Choctaw has been able to play through these penalties that have been these big penalties that they've received tonight.
They always pick up 10 or 11 or 15 on that long yardage. Zebanuski's got a man out here. Oh, in and out of the hands that time of Jason McCoy, the sophomore. Would have been good for the first down.
Number three.
He had his man
Fabian
deep.
Porter is down on defense, was covering number 3, Jason McCoy.
Had a step on him.
Apparently the Vikings not really satisfied with the coverage they've been getting on Fabian Porter, who used to be a defensive back. Give the Vikings a little bit more speed.
They send Dergenet over there to cover. Number 17, Earl Youngblood. Zebanuski looks on the outside, looks to Youngblood on the out. It'll be a worm burner, a little bit short. It'll bring up a 4th down and 9 at a punting situation, and a great play here for the Vikings. 8:44 left in the period.
Well, you know, you saw that pass, but number 42, James Fallon, had come through on a stunt or a blitz or whatever you want to. Anyway, the linebacker, they sent the linebacker, and he was breathing down Zebanuski's back, and that's why the poor throw.
Naylor coming in to kick.
Number 11, Chris Clements is back.
Chris Clements back to receive, sitting at the 29. And boy, I tell you what, these snaps and these punts and this field position so important. Clements calls for a fair catch. He takes it at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vikings here. Wendell, 8:38. The score all tied, 28-28.
And this is a crunch time part of the game. You know, both teams have been slugging it out. The offensive line, defensive line have been really getting after each other. Now the momentum to see which team is going to say uncle.
The Vikings have either trailed or tied all the time during this game. They have yet to lead anywhere in this game tonight. Let's see what they do here. 1st and 10 from the 35. Porter out to the 43-yard line on the carry. Fabian Porter, Denario Thomas on the tackle for the Indians. Pick up a 7, 3rd and 3. Eric Walbert also out there to help out.
Right now, if I could, you know, from just viewing the football game right now, the offensive line, Rankin, Waddell, Culbreth, Williams, and Eubanks starting to get a good push on every play against the Choctahatchee line.
Porter, soft corner, looks inside, gets for the 1st down. Good ball handling there. I tell you what, over into Indian territory. They'll put it down at the 49-yard line. Tackle on the play that time by Jamie Neighbors and Brian Scott. Looked like Joe
Claiborne
on the tackle.
You know, it seems like there's always been a Claiborne or a McNabb or a McKinney playing football somewhere in Okaloosa County. What do you think? I don't know.
Or a Smith. Or a Jones. Or a 1st and 10. The Vikings send motion. Give it to the sophomore. Boy, he turns, spins. Boy, I tell you what, he got spun around, what he did. Anthony Carter, the freshman running back.
You see him spinning around like that, and you're afraid that he's going to lose the football. You know, here you got a 9th grader playing before the biggest crowd in his career, and you're giving him the football on a trick play, or, well, a little counter. They got a lot of confidence in Anthony Carter.
We've seen him play. He's a tremendous player, 9th grader. 2nd and 10, the pitch. Porter, I tell you what, under pressure, reverses his field. Good block, good corners. Chase, Porter still on his feet to the 49-yard line. I tell you what, good peel block that time. And look at some of the Indians still getting off the ground. Isaiah Porter.
Well, he was lucky to get, Fabian was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, or that would have been about a 10-yard loss. But he did gain about 2 yards.
Lucky he didn't break that thing.
Yeah. But, you know, you saw the Choctahatchee defense. They were in good shape for that cutback. They didn't over-pursue. That's why that play didn't break it for longer yardage. Well disciplined by the Choctahatchee
3rd and 9.
defense.
The Indian fans on their feet. The Viking fans on their feet. Robinson drops the throw, looks to the outside. It's got a man wide open. Thompson again. Oh, my goodness. Ryan Thompson, what a huge play.
Man, they're going to call him out of bounds, though. They're going to say he caught it out of bounds.
Oh,
they're going to bring that back.
Oh,
boy, I tell you, Coach Rankin was over there officiating.
I guess they can
it
see
looked
it
good
better
from
than we
here.
do.
I don't know why
they see it better than we do. I'm going to give them the credit.
No, I don't. You know what? That referee on that side didn't have the best angle. Did you know that? And you know what? Fort Walton's not going to punt the football. Now you talk about some. This is not 4th and an inch.
This is 4th and 9. 6-13. Woo! I don't know if I'd be giving them the ball here. I guess if you make the first down, though, you don't give it to them, do you? Robinson under pressure. He's got the corner. He's to the 40. He's out of bounds at the 40-yard line. He's going to be short.
Short, about a yard.
Boy, lucky he didn't get dumped in the backfield. And it's the first down for the Indians. Woo, Matt Howard with a huge play for the Indians. Boy, I tell you what, you talking about a game of inches again, half inches, centimeters.
You know, the thing about it tonight, you know, what I like about that, you're not playing, you're playing to win the football game. You're not trying not to lose. You understand what I'm talking about? There's a big difference in that. You know, you're not playing to keep from losing. You're playing to win the football game. You know? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Well, let's see what the final score wears out, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people guessing that one again. But you know what, Joey Rankin, he's willing to take the responsibility and the call. I give him credit for both. Keith Marshall on the carry. That's a lot of confidence in your defense. Look like J.R. Grant there on the tackle for the Vikings. Pickup of 2.
I tell you another thing that I've been impressed with tonight, both football teams are leaving it out there on the football field. They're really sticking each other. You know, there's no, you know, some games they go out there and it sounds like a pillow fight. But tonight they're really putting a hat on each other, and so, you know, they're all playing really hard. That's what you like.
2nd and 8. Zebanewski gives to the near side. Tippy toes over his back. That time Walker on the tackle. Jason McCoy on the carry along with T.J. Britt helping out for the Vikings.
Well, T.J. has made it a little bit tougher to run to that side, but still the Vikings not quite coming back and playing that sweep up there on the line of scrimmage. They're turning that ball, the sweep back when he breaks the line of scrimmage. So you got to get in the backfield and make him turn that ball up sooner, because that brings your linebackers into play.
Trips to the far side. Naylor, the lone setback. Zebanewski, the quick pitch out to Naylor. Naylor turns on the speed, outruns the linebackers. Good for the first down. Oh, I tell you what, Fabian Porter hit a big hit on him. I tell you, Eric Smith had the angle, just didn't have the speed.
He didn't have the angle.
Well, he had the angle, just didn't have the speed.
Once again, they outmatch man Fort Walton on the corner there, and you can't expect Eric Smith to, from a running start, to match up with Robbie Nader when they pitch the ball to him on the outside.
Huge play there for the Indians. I tell you what, getting a first down about 1.5 feet inside Viking territory. 4:36 left here in the 4th period, and Wendell is coming down to the wire. Zebanewski the give. This time to number 3, Jason McCoy on the corner. Runs out of room, forced out of bounds. Looked like Javaris Walker. No, he stays in. James Fallon, but I tell you what, put the pressure to get him on the outside. Are you speechless over there, Wendell?
I didn't notice. Right now what I'm doing, Alan, I'm watching the defensive ends of Fort Walton, where they're outside linebackers, and on those sweeps and how they're coming up and supporting the sweep or the option. And right now, okay, here's that formation where they're Fort Walton has got to move over, or they don't match
They do
up
it
very
again.
well.
Come to the new side. Naylor, boy, they read it good that time. Pick up a 1. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7, Wendell. James Fallon on the tackle. They shifted out, but they know now they're coming to the near side on that thing.
Well, Jarvis Walker came up to the line of scrimmage and took the block on. And that way that created that the runner doesn't quite have the momentum when you do that, when you take up on the blocker.
I'll tell you what else is a great thing you want to talk about Choctaw. This way that they get these plays in and out from the coach without running people on and off the field. Tremendous play.
Now this is that option they run. They run this option out of this play right here.
This time they'll pass. Zebanewski on the corner, throws it high. In and out of the hands. The ball intended for number 18, James Dorsla. Incomplete. Coverage on the play by Demai Dergenet, and it'll bring a 4th and 7. Let's see who punts and goes for it now.
Well, they're going to punt the football, as you can see. And you know what I would do? I don't know if I would put anybody back. Well, you got Chris Clements in a big football game now. He hasn't returned many punts, you know, and so.
253.
But, you know, you put them out there. You got to have confidence in your kids, you know, but this is a first game. His first Choctawhatchee 4.
High, short. Clements to call for a fair catch. Boy, that wasn't much room on that one.
But you know, don't they have a? You can't get in within 4 yards.
Give him
like
enough room
Jamie
to field
Neighbors
the
that
punt.
run right by Chris Clements, but he handled the football real well. Chris, I have confidence in you. Believe me. Good catch, Chris. That a boy.
Good job, Chris. Under pressure. I'll tell you what, you're talking about a lot of pressure.
Well, he is. I mean, you know,
A sophomore back there. A wobbly punt, too. Wasn't an easy one, a wobbly punt. Those are hard.
Well, you know, we're only 2 minutes and 48 seconds to going into extra time. And you know what? You're having such a good time. What do you want to go home for?
I've never been in an extra overtime game. Robinson on the corner, looks to throw across the middle, complete. Yes, sir. Number 28 looks like Jay Roberts. First down for the Vikings. 236.
Well, that was just all skill by Bobby. He broke containment on the outside. He waited for Jay Roberts to come across, and you know Jay Roberts, that's his second catch.
Hey, there was 4 green shirts out there, and he threaded it in the middle. Anthony McCoy on the tackle for the Indians.
But you hear we had the Vikings backing up. I wonder what the call is.
Oh, here's a flag.
Another flag.
Wait downfield, though. What do you think? A clip after the catch? That's my guess. They're talking to the Indians. A clip after the catch.
I didn't see the clip. I don't see the.
Well, they'll give him the first down, then they'll back it up, so it'll be 2nd and 20 if I am correct in that assumption. Is that right?
No, it'll be about 2nd and about 2. No, 1st and 2.
So they don't give him the first down.
Well, it'll be. No, you don't get the first down. It'll be 1st and 5, as you can see.
From the spot, 2nd and 5.
There must have been a clip because I see the Fort Walton coaches are not over there helping him referee. So it must have been a good call. But you know that first down pass, you know, you love to see that. The Vikings came right out, ran a pass play on first down.
Quick, inside, incomplete. Thought it was caught. Jay Roberts, the intended receiver.
Just a little low, but you got to squat down and get your arms under it. But you know, the Fort Walton not lining up, trying to run that football. They're opening it up and putting pressure on the Choctawhatchee defense and counting on Bobby Robinson to make good decisions throwing the football. And so far he has.
2nd and 5 for the Vikings. Quick throw outside to Thompson, complete. Looked like a little short of the first down. Isaiah Porter on the count.
And a great tackle by Isaiah. If Isaiah misses that tackle, Vikings have a first down. They may have it anyway, but we're going to see right now. But that's a real good tackle on Ryan Thompson there.
Looks like he's a little short from up here.
We're at a bad angle, too.
I've been 3 for 3 tonight. I believe he's Well, what kind of a
notice
red worm? Is that a red worm? It's short about a red worm.
Tonight,
wiggler.
tonight, Bobby has completed passes to 3 different receivers: Jay Roberts, Ryan Thompson, Fabian Porter, 4 different, Fabian Porter and Mike Mangum.
First down by a wiggler, red wiggler.
You're gonna,
A cricket.
it's a game on the inches, as they say.
Game of crickets.
You know, we haven't heard from Mike Mangum since that catch he made setting up the first touchdown, the second touchdown by Fort Walton.
They'll send Roberts out to the far side. McKinney, the give inside. No gain. Is that Porter? Porter on the carry. That's right. Fabian Porter on the carry. Look like Jamie Neighbors, Eric Walbert, and some more green jerseys in on there. 139, Wendell. The Vikings will call timeout.
Well, they're about to lose the clock. Now you talk about
this
pressure on-
got to be the greatest football game between the Vikings and Fort Walton. What's the most points ever scored in a Choctaw-Fort Walton game, you think? We don't have any of John O'Connor's famous stats.
Well, normally, Coach O'Connor, John O'Connor gives me more statistics than I know what to do with. But I'm going to go back in here to my little encyclopedia.
You're digging in the old stuff.
If I can find it and tell you the answer to that question. The most points scored by Fort Walton Beach was 31. They won 31-7 in 1997. Most points scored by Choctawhatchee, they won 38-13 in 1993. Fort Walton Beach's biggest margin of victory was 27. Choctaw's biggest margin of victory was 26 in 1989. So I guess the most points scored in this game would have been 1993 when 51 were scored.
Well, what we know now is Robinson's out of the backfield. Good play to get out of bounds. Isaiah Porter chases him out. Good catch that time. Jay Roberts.
Jay Roberts' 4th catch tonight. He's had a great night. In fact, he's had a career tonight.
Sure has.
And then, you know what? He did a good thing that he couldn't get any more yardage, couldn't get upfield, and he ran out of bounds and stopped the clock.
My junior year, I played wide receiver. I think I was one of the leading receivers for the year. I think I had 8 catches all year.
Well, Choctawhatchee on that last series sent all the linebackers.
This time they're dropping them all back. Catch, complete. Number 2 there, Gary Dunmore. Good for the first down. It'll stop the clock. Isaiah Porter, they're wearing him out over there on that side.
Well, they got to line up and spike the ball. They got to have real good clock discipline here.
121, plenty of time to score here for the Vikings with some serious clock management. They'll run another play. Intercepted. And boy, I tell you what, this could be a nightmare out there. Still on his feet, dancing, tackling, chased. One man to beat, a flag on the play. Antonio McCoy, but a flag on the play.
Oh, the only bad throw that Bobby has made tonight. It got away from him a little bit. Still a catchable football. Ryan Thompson tipped it, but I think we got a clip here. I'm not sure.
Clipping at about the 3-yard line. Oh, it'll take it about to maybe about the 18. Oh my goodness, what a change. So the Vikings,
Antonio McCoy, what a great interception. That's the tip drill.
At 128 in control now at 1-3 here. Oh, it was a little deeper than we had anticipated. So it must have happened around the 15, huh?
And now the Fort Walton defense is called on to overcome the turnover.
And a field goal wins this game.
Very astute there, my friend.
Let me share with you that. A field goal wins, and I would say that
right now, 47 yards. They're already in the
range.
In range for Bobby Naylor. Robbie Naylor, not
Robbie Naylor. 103. Let's see if we can put them out of range. If you're a Viking, get in range if you're an Indian.
Choctaw has been penalized 80 yards tonight.
Robbie Naylor on the give. Boy, it looks like a wall of white out here. He loses 3 yards. And the Choctaw coaching staff is over there hollering for a timeout.
You know, now Choctawhatchee, if I were the offensive coordinator of Choctawhatchee, you wouldn't actually be rolling the dice, but I'd throw the football right now. Fabian Porter on the tackle. Fabian Porter can match Naylor's speed on the outside coming back from his safety position, but right now Fort Walton is in a dilemma. You know, they know that they give up any yardage on running that the field goal is a possibility, and Choctawhatchee has nothing to lose by throwing the football.
Fort Walton said the same thing about 45 seconds. Excuse me,
Hey,
20
I
seconds.
don't fault that. That's you try to win the football game.
What do they say? But 2 things happen when you throw the football, or 3 things happen, and 2 of them are bad.
And that's what a lot of people will say, hindsight. But when you're trying to win the football game, you do what you can, and you know, you take your chances. Bobby has been good all night. Now, the funny thing about this, if they run that reverse again, I'm going to really be upset if it works.
Well, they're going to be happy. Naylor to the near side. Boy, they're going to try and keep it out of bounds. No gain. Maybe 1. He's at the 33, but Quentin Jackson pushes him out. Now, how far did you say his range was?
Well, he can kick it 45 on in. But let me mention something there. Quentin Jackson that time finally did an outstanding job. He took on the block and forced a blocker, I don't know who was blocking on him, into the runner. That time he covered that sweep the way you're supposed to.
Woo! Man, I tell you what, this is not a game for the faint at heart. If you're on heart medication, you need to turn the TV off right now.
You know, and you say right now that when this game's over, I know that there's no way that you can feel good about a loss. But it's a shame that anybody can lose this football game tonight. It's been such a good football game.
I'm pretty sure one of them's going to lose.
You can't. I'm so glad that we have tiebreakers. Remember when we didn't have tiebreakers? Man.
We need some warnings to put across this TV screen, guys. I'm telling you, not for the faint at heart. All right,
if I'm Choctawhatchee, I throw the football.
I'd say they throw the football to try and get inside a field goal range. That's my thing. Especially the way Zebanewski's been throwing that ball.
Well, you need 10 good yards. I don't think that Choctawhatchee can run it and get 10 yards. But I may be wrong.
I know they can run it for 10 yards. Oh, a mix-up in the backfield. Who did it? Number 30. Boy, he was in there. Mike Sims. Boy, he crashed the backfield. Oh, my goodness. 4th down. Now they're at the 34-yard line. 36 seconds and the clock's running. 32 seconds and the clock's running.
Well, he won't take a timeout until the clock runs all the way down, because I think Bobby Moore has decided, look, we're going to decide this man-to-man, man-on-man in the 10-yard line and have a tiebreaker here.
The clock's at 16 and the 24-second clock is at 5. So they'll call timeout here. Oh, man. The 25-second clock went down to 0, but I guess he had his hand in his face. Well, now that's good management there.
Right.
8.1 left on the clock. He ran it all the way down as far as he could to leave as little or no time left.
You know, I'm not sure, but I think that Fort Walton won a game on a field goal one time that was over 50 yards. I remember the soccer player from Fort Walton that kicked it. It was about a 50-yard field goal, and he won it.
Well, they're coming out with there's Robbie Naylor, the man of the hour.
Now, the thing you have to work.
Now, wait, he'll put it down at the 40, so this will be a 50-yard field goal. And no wind.
You know, there's 2 things that a factor here. You don't want to rough him and give him another chance.
It's down, it's up. Boy, it's long. And it's good. Oh, my goodness. Robbie Naylor just nails a 50-yard field goal with 2.2 seconds on the clock to put the Indians on top, 31-28.
Well, it had to end that way, and a great play by one of your seniors.
Oh, man. I tell you what.
I said that he could kick it from there. He's got a good leg.
That Robbie Naylor, I sure would like to be eating at his house tonight, because, buddy, you can eat whatever you want.
I saw his dad this afternoon in my yard. He told me if I was going to take off my red shirt. I told him, yeah, I'd be neutral tonight. But, you know, you got to feel real good about Mr. Naylor and Robbie. Robbie grew up around our neighborhood. You know, I remember when he used to play football in our front yard. And
oh my goodness. Now here's the next question, Trivia. What's the longest field goal in Choctawhatchee history?
This is, well, I think Fort Walton kicked one about that long years ago. I'm not sure. We'd have to look at it.
Woo! Oh my goodness, I tell you what, if you're an Indian fan, you are absolutely ecstatic. And I'll put it to you this way, if you're a Viking fan, that was exciting to watch. You hate to lose.
No, it ain't exciting for maybe for the fans, but the coaching staff is not exciting. The defense of Fort Walton did a great job of holding Choctawhatchee, and then you just got beat by a senior kicker that's been doing that all his career.
He'll hit the squib.
Toss it. Give it to Fabian.
And the clock expires. Mike Mangum got all he could, the junior. And I tell you what, just like that, the Vikings driving down the field, a minute 30 left in the game with under control, thinking that we might get into overtime. An interception, a field goal, and window. The Viking fans are in shock.
Well, the thing about it, a game where you have two teams that are well matched, it always boils down to a couple of factors. We said it at the very beginning. Turnovers, mistakes, which includes turnovers in the kicking game. Looks like just for that one kick that the Choctawhatchee had the edge in the kicking game. But, you know, you look at the penalties tonight. Choctawhatchee was penalized 80 yards. The Vikings was penalized 70 yards. And they both made enough mistakes to lose this football game. But I credit to both coaching staffs, Bobby Moore and his coaching staff, and Fort Walton's coaching staff with Coach Rankin. They both played a good football game tonight. And you know, if there's anything you can say about holding your head high, you can do that tonight.
Boy, all the credit in the world to the coaching staff, like you said. This first-year coach comes in. Bobby Moore, 7-1. Tonight he's 8-1, headed into the district playoffs. A great game of coaching and calling offensive plays.
Now, next week they both. Now, if you want to know what the state playoffs right now, Choctawhatchee will host probably St. Augustine. Fort Walton will have to go on the road, probably to Lake City. And the other thing is that next week they both got one more football game. Choctawhatchee's homecoming next week. They play Woodham, and then the following week the playoffs start. Fort Walton has to travel over to Washington, and both of them, of course, have got a lot to do to get ready for district, and they both want to go in good shape. But you know what? The biggest problem the coach is going to have this week is getting these teams back up after this great football game.
You know what? You just witnessed probably the greatest game ever played in Joe Etheridge Stadium, and I know Joe Etheridge, who passed away last year, we wish he was here to watch it, but I know he's looking down from somewhere above. So happy, so proud that the teams and look at the fan support out here has just brought Fort Walton Beach together, and this is the greatest night probably in just years and years to come.
You got to love it. This is the way football used to be in Okaloosa County, and you know what? It was always crowned by this rivalry between Choctawhatchee and Fort Walton Beach. I hope this rivalry does not die. I hope that next year we come right back with the same situation and we have the same crowd. And we have the same excitement. This is high school football at its absolute best. And if you weren't here tonight, you missed it. You missed a great one.
Well, I tell you what, you can catch it again here on the replays. And don't forget, if you're an Indian fan, boy, you've got to love it. The final score, the Indians 31, the Vikings 28. Wendell, any last words?
No, except that, like you say, I hope this is a classic. Tape this one and show it to your kids.
The greatest game in the history of the Fort Walton Choctaw rivalry. I don't know how you could ever top it. Great offense, unbelievable. All brought to you here courtesy of Cox Cable. It's Alan Winslet and Wendell Brock in the booth. We'll be back next Friday night. Stick around, and like I say, man, we appreciate you tuning in, and good night.